I was kind of like one of those dream things. Like when I was really little, I wanted to be a marine biologist. Then again, I realized there was a super lot of math involved, and I was like, it's probably not going to be a great career choice for me. But I always had my teachers tell me that that is what I would end up doing. I mean, as long as I can remember, my third or fourth grade art teacher saying that I was going to be like living in Chelsea in New York or something like that when I grew up. So it made sense. It makes sense to everybody who knew me growing up that I ended up in the museum field. So it's not shocking. It's nice. So I've worked in retail. I've worked in the restaurant business for a long time. I did consider actually going into that business on the managerial end. I ended up, like I said, I'm marrying a chef, so that sort of made sense for a while, and there was some creativity involved, but the hours were the worst. And I think beyond that, I considered being a librarian before when I was younger. Again, I'm very booky. But yeah, I kind of always knew I'd end up in the art field somehow. I was just lucky enough to find something that would help me not be homeless.
No, I never thought that I would end up having a studio, having people coming and going all the time, and just being so happy with life. You know, everything I do personally and professionally just goes together seamlessly, and I love it. And I just never expected. I expected to be happy. Who doesn't? You know, but I never expected to be where I am right now. I did want to go into interior design. I really love that, but at the time, in the old ages, when I was thinking of college, it was an 8-year degree, and that was too long for me. I didn't enjoy school to begin with, so the idea of spending 8 more years doing that was not appealing at all. So.
When I was in high school, I loved art. I did love art, and I have always loved art, and I loved music. And but I knew that that's a challenge to just major in art. You have to develop your art along with being able to develop a living. And so I've always done art. I've always liked art classes and jewelry in specific, some glass. I've always wanted to own a shop. That was one of my goals when I was in the military. I always liked collectibles and antiques and things, and I always thought it would be cool to own a gallery type shop. So yes, it was part of the goals. It came about a little bit differently than we thought, but it worked.
Well, my major in art was in graphic arts. So when I was in Baylor, I was a junior. I started working in an art studio doing commercial art pieces, and so I guess that's how I did that. From there, I went to art director for a company, and then opened my own graphic design studio for about 10 years. Then made some bad investments in real estate, went broke. So, but it was a very good experience in advertising and design.
What I've done over the years, in different jobs, because I really didn't have to work. My husband supported us, and so I just did things that I wanted to do. But looking back, those things that I have done have made it possible for me to run my own business. I have loved art since I was a kid. Like when I was little, the things that I remember the most were when I was part of some sort of craft or art project, and those kind of things were the things that stuck with me and I loved. And then in high school, I took art and thought I would be a commercial artist. But I didn't become a potter. I did pottery since high school, so off and on 36 years. But I didn't become a potter until I was 40 and decided to pursue it as a career. Really, originally I was doing it for myself, and I loved doing it so much, and so I wanted to create a studio within my house so that I could just do it whenever I felt like it. And then people started asking me to teach their children, which I thought I would just make pottery and sell it, but then people started asking me to teach their children, then they wanted me to teach them, and it just kind of grew. And at the time I didn't need to work, but then now, in the past 10 years, I've had to work. And so it just kind of grew, and I pursued it more, in order to make a living at it. And so now I have to work, but I love what I do, So, and when I retire, I will probably still do pottery. I may not teach it, but I will always do it.
That it's really important to find a balance between your creativity and the practicality of being a part of a large organization. And that's another thing that I get asked by other artists all the time. Like I worked in a really big museum in New Jersey for a long time. And we had working artists on the property, and they would ask me, how did you get your job? Why would they hire you? Like, because you're looking to fill up that gaps in your income. And they see me like doing something that's fun, and then I also have health insurance, so that's super appealing. And it's kind of having the balance of being able to be very creative and at the same time knowing when you need to step away and really do the paperwork and make the phone calls and do things you don't like. It like kind of hurts you to do because it's against everything you are comfortable with. But it's part of finding that balance that really helps people stay successful.